Hello and welcome to another video helping you get the top grades. Today's video comes from the community. I asked you what would you like me to make, and the most popular choice was some A-level videos, and this is the first one. Organisation, you would think, is the key to success at A-level. And this prompted me to think, actually, let's think about what organisation means. Normally, people tell you to be organised by giving you a timetable, telling you to plan this and plan that, plan ahead. They also write long lists, often just for the pleasure of ticking things off the list. So what's really going on there? Is that organisation helping those people to succeed? Well, I think it is. But the way organised people succeed is not so much in their planning, it's in the way they're dealing with their anxiety about the future. And we're all feeling this anxiety, which is why I'm starting with organisation now. If you organise everything, you tidy everything, you're very particular about what you must do and when, you're in total control of the present. And what you think to yourself is, if I have this total control now, the future will be better. Because I'm fully in control and I've planned everything and I'm organised, the future will have a better outcome. Well, that's not true. That is a narrative which we tell ourselves. If you think about any kind of planning that people have to do on a large scale, it always goes wrong. You can think of any number of examples, but think of anything in the public sphere, any kind of project at all. Hundreds of people are paid hundreds of thousands of pounds to plan it, and every single project overruns at a cost greater than anybody ever predicted. Why is that? Is it that people just wasted their money on idiots? No. It's because the future is totally uncertain. You can't predict, no matter how good your planning is, you just can't predict what the future will be like. If I want to be organised enough for a particular future, I have to pick things that are worthwhile doing in themselves. Once I'm focused on the things that I need to do, like the big things, not the little steps in between, then I can just focus. Let me explain the difference to you between that and normal organisation. So at the minute, I'm writing a book. At the same time, I'm making videos. At the same time, I'm doing the garden. At the same time, I'm working online with several schools. Well, an organised person wouldn't approach their life that way. They would need to know clear endpoints. They would need to know the steps to achieving a goal. Well, that makes you very unproductive, because think of the lists that you've drawn up in the past. How long can you stick to them? A week? 2 weeks? A month? Most of us cannot stick to a plan. Real life gets in the way. Organisation is destroyed by real life. So, what level of organisation works brilliantly with real life, and in your case, preparing for your next steps, either GCSEs, A-levels or university? It's actually very, very simple. Step number 1, don't stress. Don't worry. Step number 2, pick on the things that you value. So let's say you want to do English Literature A-level. Your first step is just going to be to read the A-level texts. Your next step is going to be to research the time periods that influence those texts. Now, you're not going to come up with a plan like in how many days will you get through how many books. You're just going to do things organically. And it works like this. I sleep 10 hours a day. I don't, but you're a teenager. That leaves me 14 hours a day to do what I want. How much of that time should I devote to an organised plan? None of it. You're going to devote your time to getting immersed in something. So it might be that today you just get absorbed in a book. Tomorrow you put the book down and you get absorbed in research about the time period or the author or the literary influences on that author. And what you do is just devote a certain amount of each day, and that will be a minimum time. And so for me, that minimum time that I'm going to spend on thinking about my next steps is going to be 2 hours. I might do longer than that, but if I pick on 2 hours, I'm not going to stress that I haven't got time to do those things. I'm not going to stress that it's taking away my autonomy to enjoy the other things that I want to do. I'm just going to follow my interests for 2 hours a day. It's probably not a good idea to do those 2 hours all in one chunk, but if you want to, do it. Now, what this focus gives you is the opportunity to enter into a state of flow, to be absorbed in the moment, in the present. Remember, organised people want to control the present because of their fear of the future. The person who isn't worried about being organised is living in the present and enjoying it. Your anxiety goes away because you know that over time you will learn a lot more. Because you haven't got an end goal that you're desperately trying to get to, there's no fear of failure. There's no fear of not sticking to the plan. Enjoying the process always, 100% of the time, leads to success. Because every day you know a little more, you get a little better, you connect one idea with another. Every day is a better day. This is why I'm able to run a YouTube channel when I am not an organised person. In the last 4 years, I've also written 11 books while doing 4 days a week of a job. Now, I haven't done this because I'm an organised person, and I haven't done this because I'm some kind of mad genius. I'm not, just a normal guy. But I've learned how to live in the moment and devote myself to 2 hours a day where I'm totally committed to something. Now, here's a reason why this short time of 2 hours is better than being organised. If I'm organised, I'll spend too long revising. I'll have too much on my to-do list. Let me give you an example. My most popular video on my channel is Revise All the Themes of Macbeth. Despite trying to get this to 30 minutes, it's about 36 minutes long. However, if you watch that video 4 times over year 10 and year 11, my prediction is you would be able to answer any question to grade 7, 8 and 9, any question on Macbeth at all, if you watched it 4 times, took notes and absorbed it. And that would be 2.5 hours work. Now, if I'm teaching in a lesson, I can't get that quality even in the best lesson I've ever taught. It's impossible. But you can do that in 36 minutes 4 times over 2 years. Very, very easily. Now, being young, you might struggle to watch a 36-minute video. That's a very good clue that when you're in an hour's lesson, you're probably doing much less than 36 minutes work. Typically, students do about 20 minutes work across the whole hour. That's just the way it is. And that seems to be a universal thing. Middle sets, bottom sets, top sets, it always seems to pan out around 20 minutes. Knowing that means that you could spend 20 minutes on a video, 20 minutes on a guide or a book, 20 minutes researching on the internet with total laser focus. And you would easily learn as much as you would learn in a 1-hour lesson. But actually, you would learn much, much more, because the lesson that someone is delivering in 20 minutes in a video will pack in much more than that teacher could put into an hour's lesson. My 36-minute Macbeth video probably teaches about 7 lessons, genuinely. And so you're thinking of 3 subjects for A-level. You need to do that for 3 different subjects. Devote yourself within your 2 hours to those 3. You don't have to do all 3 every day. You can split your time however you want. All you need is that routine where you say, right, 2 hours out of my 14 that are available to me, I'm going to devote entirely to learning. 2 hours is nothing. But because you're doing it every day, sometimes you'll become super absorbed and the 2 hours will turn into a lot more. Over a month, you will accumulate an enormous amount of knowledge, and that gives you a fantastic feeling of reward because you will know you've acquired that knowledge. It's hugely motivational in a way that these kind of study with me videos aren't, where you're just intimidated by somebody sitting at a screen saying, look how great I am and how organised I am. Because organisation is the enemy. Organisation is a fear of the future. But when you get a routine that is not organised, that is just about doing the best you can right now, the fear of the future disappears. And the longer you do it, the less that fear becomes, because you've got that money in the bank. The money in the bank is that knowledge that you've acquired, and you know you've acquired it. The sense of achievement continually builds. Whereas if you're someone who lives by the list, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you've acquired, you're still in fear of the stuff that you don't know. You're still in fear of tomorrow's list. Ditch the list. Live in the present, live in the moment, enjoy your studies. It's only 2 hours a day. In my next videos, I'll show you what you can do in some of those 2-hour daily chunks. So subscribe or not, just do what you like. I'm not your dad.